In the headlines, bandits abduct two in Kwali Area Council of Abuja as Army redeploys senior officers amid rising insecurity. Governor Wike replies Atiku vows to remain in PDP. 23 states, Federal Capital Territory receive 24.45 billion naira from conditional grant schemes. And on the foreign scene, New York raises monkeypox alarm as San Francisco declares emergency. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. Now, a fresh attack has been recorded in Kwali Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory amid the rising insecurity in the nation's capital. According to a resident of Chida community, Dangana Musa, a driver alongside his conductor were abducted in the latest attack, which occurred on Thursday evening. He said the driver identifies as Atazamu Azaki and his conductor, Ayuba John, went to load charcoal at a farm in the area when the bandits broke in. Musa added that the kidnappers, who wielded sophisticated weapons, whisked the duo away at gunpoint, but later released John, who was asked to go and inform the victim's family members about the abduction. Spokesperson of the FCT Police Command, Josephine Ade, is yet to officially confirm the kidnap incident. Meanwhile, some soldiers were reportedly killed when Boko Haram terrorists raided a military checkpoint around Zuma Rock in Niger State on Thursday night. The area close to Madalla town is a few meters away from Zuba, along the Kaduna-Abuja highway. A source told Daily Trust that the attackers arrived at the spot some minutes after 7 p.m. and opened fire immediately. The attack comes amid heightened tension in the Federal Capital Territory over likely terrorist attacks. The Nigerian Army has redeployed senior officers in a major reshuffle that affects some principal staff officers of the Army headquarters. General officers commanding, corps commandants, commandants of training institutes, brigade commanders, and commanding officers, among others. Now, this comes amid the renewed attacks by terrorists and other armed non-state actors, as well as a day after the military authorities said they have adopted a new strategy to tackle the threats in the country. Brigadier General Onyema Machuku, who is the Director of Army Public Relations, announced the redeployment of the officers in a statement on Friday. He said the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has approved the posting of some senior officers of the Nigerian Army to command, instructional and staff appointments across the services, formations and units. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has reinvigorated the G7 security operations to secure the territory. The G7 security operations involve collaboration and partnerships with states that are contagious to the territory. The statement by Anthony Oguleye, Chief Press Secretary to the FCT Minister, said the FCT Commissioner of Police, Sunday Babaji, made this known during the FCT Monthly Security Committee meeting. He explained that the operation will involve taking the fight to the bandits and terrorists in their camps, which are mostly located in states bordering the FCT. The Police Commissioner, however, called for the collaboration and cooperation of residents of the FCT to provide actionable and timely intelligence to the security agencies. The armed forces of Nigeria have resolved to deploy a new strategy in the coming weeks to deal with snippets of violence across the country. National Security Advisor Babagana Mungunu disclosed this to newsmen at State House Abuja on Thursday at the end of an emergency National Security Council meeting convened by President Muhammadu Buhari. Major General Mungunu also disclosed that the council was winding up the special investigative panel on the attack on the Kuje Correctional Center. The idea, he explained, was to come up with recommendations that would hold those responsible for security lapses that enabled the attack. The NSA, however, urged the media to tone down its reportage of insecurity, as certain reports could aggravate this delicate situation.
Saying whole of society approach, whole of government approach to get a whole of nation approach, what it means is that everybody has to partake in this enterprise. The truth is that no country can ever overcome the difficulties of an asymmetric conflict by virtue of the fact that the enemy of the state is embedded within the population, within the wider society. It is true that the local people are averse, they're scared, they're worried, and there's no confidence. That is understandable. But without their support, without their cooperation in terms of giving information, it makes it very hard for the operational elements. A few days ago, troops of the Guards Brigade were ambushed and decimated.
The people of Kadiso village in Faskari local government area are fleeing to towns and villages presumed safer following a threat letter allegedly sent by terrorist kingpin Adamu Aliru. The handwritten letter in Hausa language was sent to the people of Kadiso village and obtained by Trust TV News in Katsina. Abdullahi Yamadi tells us more.
Kadiso is a farming community in Faskari local government which has been attacked repeatedly by terrorists in recent times. The worst among the series of attacks on Kadiso village is the one which claimed over 100 lives, including women and children. During that attack, over 500 animals were also rustled and properties worth millions of naira destroyed. Sometimes I begin to wonder if really there is leadership or government in Nigeria. People are being killed daily by terrorists, and they move freely as if they are paid to kill. In this letter sent to the villagers not certified by Trust Television News, Adamu Aliru claimed that Kadiso village was attacked because some innocent Fulani people were once gruesomely murdered in the village. From the time we received the alleged letter, almost 3 to 4 days ago, hundreds of people, mostly women and children, have fled this village. Please, what evil have we committed? Meaning that the attack was a retaliatory one. Besides that, Adamu Aliru claimed that Kadiso attack was not masterminded by him, as alleged by Governor Aminu Masari and police authorities in Katsina. In the letter alleged to be sent to the people of Kadiso, Adamu Aliru is asking why Katsina State Governor and police authorities in Katsina are saying he attacked Kadiso village. He also went further to ask whether he is the one who attacked Kuje Correctional Facility or the Kaduna passenger train. Far from that, the letter ignited fear and apprehension in Kadiso village, which resulted to many deserting their ancestral homes. The battle is getting tougher by the day. Is this insecurity or is it hunger and abject poverty? Which is which? I'm really confused. The villagers are, however, calling for the deployment of more security personnel and the immediate restoration of peace to all the insecurity-prone areas. Dozens have been killed, hundreds of animals rustled, with unspecified number of people abducted in Faskari, Sabwa, Dandumi, Kankara, Safana, Batsari, Kurifi, Dusuma, and Jibia local governments since the turbaning of the terrorist kingpin Adamu Aliru. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And now to politics, where former Senate Majority Leader Abdullahi Yahya has given an account of what transpired during the Senate closed-door session, where lawmakers decided to give President Muhammadu Buhari an ultimatum to address rising insecurity or face impeachment. Senators from opposition parties on Wednesday issued a 6-week ultimatum to the president on rising insecurity. Senator Yahya, who defected to the opposition PDP, speaks exclusively to Trust TV on the development.
There was disagreement at the closed session whether on one of the issues only, that the government, the president, an ultimatum should be given to the president to bring the level of security down. The issue was not raised up. So the minority leader raised a point of order, saying that he wants the issue that we discussed in closed session discussed. The Senate President said no, you cannot do that because we have not even agreed on the issues that are supposed to be tabled there, because some of the issues that you raised, other members also raised, have not been resolved. Therefore, since there is no resolution, then nothing can be said plenarily about what we did in the executive session. Though actually there was no resolution, no nothing. So nothing has come out officially.
Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State has reacted to the events that have unfolded in the aftermath of the presidential primary elections of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The governor, who spoke on Friday at the Port Harcourt International Airport, faltered the speech while the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, on the day he unveiled Governor Ifeanyi Okowa as his running mate. While accusing the former vice president of telling lies against him, as well as using some chieftains of the main opposition party to spread falsehood against his person, the governor vowed to respond to both the party's flag bearer and the party chieftains, whom he described as Atiku's attack dogs, one by one and line by line in due time. He said posterity would not forgive him should he fail to set the record straight, and promised to clear the air after the commissioning of projects lined up for inauguration by the state government. You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come after the break, why second-hand materials are becoming popular. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels. Leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now another look at our top stories. Bandits abduct 2 in Kwali Area Council of Abuja as Army redeploys senior officers amid rising insecurity. Governor Wike replies Atiku vows to remain in PDP. Moving on to other news now. A heavy-duty truck involved in a lone accident has blocked a major road in Lagos. Authorities of the agency managing emergencies in the state have said. The Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Olufemi Damilola, disclosed this in a statement on Friday. Narrating how the crash took place, Damilola, who did not state the time of the incident, said it occurred on the inward section of the Palm Grove Obanikoro end along the popular Ikorodu Road. The truck was reported to have lost control and rammed into a culvert along the road as a result of a brake failure. Although no death was recorded, the Lasema boss said the truck blocked an entire lane, including the dedicated section of the Bus Rapid Transit (BRT). Nasarawa State Government says about 18,429 persons have tested positive to hepatitis in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Ahmed Yahya, stated this at a press briefing to commemorate the 2022 World Hepatitis Day in Lafia. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented from our studios.
The World Hepatitis Day, set aside by the World Health Organization to recognize viral hepatitis as a global public health challenge. Nasarawa State Commissioner for Health Ahmed Baba Yahya said of the 1,081,946 persons who have so far been screened, over 2,000 are receiving treatment.
Currently, a total of 181,946 persons have been screened and 18,429 persons have tested positive to this disease. 4,160 out of the numbers of 18,429 have been assessed for viremia, and 2,451 have been founded viremic, and all have been put on treatment. Some of them, those with hepatitis, have been treated to curative status. They are cured.
He maintained that a sizable number of people are living with either hepatitis B or C in Africa, adding that the state is not an exception.
In Africa, it is estimated that about 15 to 60% of normal populations are living with either hepatitis B or hepatitis C, while the national burden for hepatitis B and hepatitis C stand at 8.1% and 1.1% respectively in AHS 2018. The national state burden stood at about 16% and 13.2% seropositive prevalence for hepatitis B and hepatitis C respectively.
The commissioner, who listed some of the preventive measures against the disease, said the state has developed key policy decisions to institutionalize the public health approach by shifting the task of uncomplicated case management to trained general practitioners.
With particular emphasis on the adoption of preventive measures that will reduce the further spread of the disease, such as we avoid the use of unsterilized shelves, avoid sharing of needles and syringes, avoid the transfusions of unscreened blood and blood products, screen pregnant women during ANC to reduce mother-to-child transmission, improve vaccinations, particularly pet dose immunizations of newborns, screen to test the general population for early identification of the disease and early identification and prompt treatment that will enhance the best water.
The commissioner also said the state has designated areas across the 13 local government areas for mass community screening and called on residents to avail themselves of the screening.
Now, the use of second-hand items in Nigeria is quite popular and is often triggered by a lack of strong purchasing power. In this report, Chamon Dabeng explores Nigeria's second-hand economy.
Whether you call it bend down select, okrika, tokumbo or thrift, the fact is it is almost impossible to overstate the importance of the social construction that goes into buying and selling of second-hand items in Nigeria today. Nigerians have become so dependent on second-hand items that you can always find something fairly used to buy.
From furniture, clothing, everyday electrical appliances, phones and even cars, all for a fraction of the original price. Recent figures released by the United Nations shows that 80% of Africans wear second-hand clothes, while Nigeria happens to be one of the largest importers of second-hand items. Today we find out why in Panteka Market located in the FCT.
I've been here for like at least 5 years selling these kind of materials, including beds, wardrobe, TV stand, dressing mirror, I mean the whole house interior, anything that has to do with house interior. I decided to be part of this business. Let me just splash back a little. I graduated from Nasarawa State University, Kefi. So after my graduation, I realized that job has now become a hot cake. Government job has become a hot cake. So I just give an advice to myself. Let's assume I never been to school. What will I do for a living? Alhamdulillah, we thank God. The business is moving so fine and is profitable. If not as a result of all these problems and obstacles, I would have said I prefer to be here than to have a 300,000 job.
There are some people who renovate their houses who needed those things to be moved away. So these people buy them and we buy from them. Some of these things they sell are high quality, even more than the one in the shop. Sometimes I don't have money for new ones. And again, there are some of the imported materials, goods, there are some of these big men in Abuja, they usually renovate their houses. So they buy new ones and they make their way with the old ones. The old ones find their way in this market and you can buy those ones cheap and high quality things from here.
The use of pre-owned pieces in Nigeria is not peculiar. The expansion of the market dates back to the 1950s and 1960s, where Okrika in Rivers State was the only port where second-hand items from Europe could arrive. As of today, Nigeria's second-hand economy continues to thrive. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're still watching Trust TV News Update. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. And to business now, where the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals at Adejoke Okerelokwe said about 23 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory have received 24 billion naira from conditional grant schemes. She said this while featuring on the ministerial media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications team at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Orelokwe said it was provided as an incentive to invest more of their resources into areas of national development priorities and the Millennium Development Goals. The fund, disbursed from 2015 till date, was introduced in 2007 with a 50% matching grant from the federal government and 50% from the participating states.
The projects executed were on 3 critical sectors: water and sanitation. 732 projects has been done, providing water, sanitation to communities, to schools, and through our partners, in support with our partner, the donor agencies. 494 primary healthcare centers are built and equipped in different states. 616 education facilities, notably schools, were built, equipped for young people for the basic education at the state levels. 1,150 1,150,000 women and men were empowered.
The federal government says it will start implementing a 5% inclusive excise duty on telecommunications services in Nigeria. The development is coming months after President Muhammadu Buhari approved excise duty on telephone recharge cards and vouchers. Zainab Ahmed, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, disclosed this on Thursday at a stakeholders forum in Abuja, organized by the Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC. Umar Dambata, Executive Vice Chairman, NCC, said the excise duty was part of the 2022 fiscal policy measures, adding that the excise duty covered both prepaid and postpaid telecommunications services. Now for a look at the foreign scene, where New York and San Francisco have issued monkeypox alerts as cases continue to rise, with the United States facing a shortage of vaccines. Authorities in New York said on Thursday that the virus represented an imminent threat to public health across the state. Health Commissioner Mary Bassett said the declaration would help health departments engage in response and prevention activities to access additional state reimbursement. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, California, authorities declared monkeypox a local public health emergency. Mayor London Breed said the risk of disease remained low, but the declaration going into effect on August 1 will help the mobilization of resources. And in sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has recognized Chikelue Eleniosi, former international footballer, as the chairman of the Anambra State Football Association. The recognition came barely 2 years after the Anambra State Football Association election held on October 30th, 2020. An election conducted by F. Obinna Dike-led electoral committee between Eleniosi and former caretaker committee chairman of the association, Emeka, had declared Okeke winner. The election was declared inconclusive by the NFF, and a letter signed by Joshua Onoja, secretary to the NFF Electoral Committee on July 28th, says Eleniosi was the only candidate qualified for the election based on the findings of the appeal committee. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.